Hi, Melissa. I'm going to give you some feedback on your project. I've gone through it and I think it's reasonably well organized. Uh, you have given me an idea of the tools used, but not how they were used. And uh, in terms of the weekly sort of summaries, it's hard to know, for example, say this is 5.5 hours, what you really spent your time on. So you had a lot of tools that you tried and used, but you don't really document that process. And so that's good that you've used a lot of tools, but in terms of the documentation, it's a little slim. Uh, you give a project overview. Now, what you've learned, this is pretty, let's say, thin. I would like to know, I would hope you have learned in 13 hours more than a sentence or two, that there would be um, more involved. However, you definitely did learn a lot for sure. And I guess it's in how detailed your articulation is that I am struggling just a little bit. That doesn't take away from your final project or the project itself. Uh, I like what you talk about in terms of what you do differently, and you've given yourself a rubric, which I think is quite detailed. And for the most part, I think you achieve that rubric. I've looked at your story. It's quite nice. Um, it's, let's see, if you have the reflection, understanding, creativity, problem solving, documentation. Um, I think you do that. That's probably where you would be a little bit um, lacking. And I just say a little bit. The communications professional. I would say the overall, there's one dimension and it's sort of overall impact. And so your overall impact was sort of creating a story, which is lovely, but but not really documenting it enough or giving enough prompts to help another person who might want to create a story, because you certainly as an educator wouldn't want to spend 13 hours on every story, right? We just don't have that time. So overall, I definitely think you're sort of in that if I were to have to put a grade, that kind of A minus range, maybe a B plus in the documentation, but overall, a really good effort. I hope that you've learned from this, and I look forward to your next project.